Okay. So let's call this meeting to order for Richfield Planning Commission for December 10th, 2018. And before we get started, I want to note that this is possibly one of our commissioners' last meetings, Dan Kitzberger, who is leaving because he is fully termed out. He has hit his term limits. So congratulations and thank you for 9 years of service.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I started when I was 11, so.
All right. Anybody else have anything they want to say about Dan, or other than remember?
Thanks,
he was
Dan.
11.
Thanks, Dan.
And I just want to thank, well, in addition to my colleagues on the commission, I want to thank staff for always being so well prepared. You know, this stuff, it makes it very easy for us to make good decisions, I think, when we have such thorough background and thoughtful responses to the questions. So I really appreciate that.
And I will say, in recognition of his second to last meeting, I believe his hat was recognized by people on Twitter. So that was, and it's back again. So
I was going to say, I look forward to seeing the different hats that you wear, Dan.
Are you going to leave that hat to one of us?
Maybe.
all right. So our first item would be approval of the minutes of the regular Planning Commission meeting from November 26th, which were extremely detailed, which was good. A lot happened at that meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Do we have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. So our next item is an opportunity for citizens to address the commission on items that are not on the agenda. If anybody would like to address the commission on any items not on the agenda, this is your opportunity to do so. And as we would for a public hearing, just please state your name and address, and you have up to five minutes to speak. And yeah, please speak into the microphone so we can record it. Thank you.
You've all received my letter. My name is Rowena Nessie-Rosan. I'm in Richfield, citizen. And I spoke earlier to your committee asking that you kindly cease and desist. I ask this again. Anything relating to the restructuring of the area north of 66 between Queen and Russell Avenues, including roadways, buildings, trees, plants, populations. I asked in a very humble way to consider your citizens who live adjacent to that property, and you cavalierly told me that it was just like all the other people who were disenchanted by the city's master plan. I am exceedingly disenchanted by the city's master plan, and so are many others in my neighborhood. So don't cavalierly tell me that, oh, it's just like the other people who got displaced, whose neighborhoods were torn apart. So, c'est la vie. On goes progress. That's not progress. That's degress. It's not development. It's destruction of my neighborhood, of my history, of the history of the people around me.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? And I can confirm that your letter was forwarded to us, and I believe was referred to the city attorney for a more formal review. I don't know if staff has anything else to add on that.
Chair Hayford O'Leary, that is correct. The letter has been forwarded to the City Council and to the City Attorney. She will consider it. At this point, the Planning Commission has no further authority on that application, but the City Attorney is looking into it.
Thank you. So then our next item would be approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes to the agenda, or do we have a motion to motion to approve?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. So our first item then is a public hearing to consider a request for variance for from sign code requirements at 6601 Penn Avenue. Staff.
Thank you, Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The BP gas station at 6601 Penn Avenue South is located in the mixed-use community and Penn Avenue Corridor Overlay District and has been a service station since approximately the 1950s. This property is on a corner lot of two arterial streets and has two freestanding signs that are 20 feet tall, one on Penn Avenue and one on 66th Street. Rose City's sign, the applicant, is proposing to update both signs by changing the gas price panels to dynamic displays. These signs are legally nonconforming, and changing the panels to dynamic displays is an intensification of use, which requires a variance from the city's sign regulations. The city's sign regulations were modified earlier this year. Under the new regulations, a property in this district is allowed one freestanding sign at a maximum height of 20 feet. Any additional freestanding signs can exceed 8 feet in height. Additionally, only one dynamic display is allowed per site, and there must be a minimum distance of 100 feet between that sign and any residential property. Dynamic displays can't exceed 35% of the sign area and must display a static image that doesn't change or move more than once every 60 seconds. The restrictions for dynamic display signs are intended to minimize potential driver distraction and minimize proliferation in residential districts where signs can adversely impact residential character. Currently, the sign on 66th Street is legally nonconforming because it is internally lit and does not meet minimum distance requirements from residential property. As shown in the site plan, this sign is approximately 75 feet from the property line of 6606 Oliver Avenue South and approximately 135 feet from the home. It is unclear how visible the sign is from the home, as there is a fence and a mixture of mature, deciduous, and coniferous trees that provide screening. The residential property at 6600 Oliver Avenue South was acquired for public use and removed as part of the 66th Street reconstruction project and is zoned general commercial. In regard to height requirements, the additional sign on Penn Avenue is legally nonconforming since only one 20-foot tall sign is permitted. Both signs have a setback of approximately 1 foot, but changing the price panels to dynamic displays will not impact the setback. Staff finds that the legally nonconforming status of these two signs, as well as the intended use of the dynamic displays, to be unique circumstances that warrant granting a variance. These panels will display a static image and, according to the applicant, will change approximately once every 3 days. Additionally, the dynamic displays will be located in the lower portion of the signs, comprising approximately 10% of the sign area, which is well under what is permitted. While adding dynamic display panels is an intensification of use, it is unlikely that this use will have an adverse impact on the surrounding residential character to the east. The properties to the north, west, and south are all commercial. Additionally, 6606 Oliver is zoned general commercial, although the current use is residential. It is reasonable to provide some flexibility in the intensification of the use and allow the gas price panels on both signs to be changed to dynamic displays, as it is consistent with the new technology of how gas stations display and update gas prices. Finding that the proposal meets all requirements necessary to issue a variance, staff is recommending approval. And I am not aware if the applicant is here for any questions. Yes.
Any questions for the staff regarding the staff report first?
I'd just like some clarification, I guess, from the applicant or staff also. Is the dynamic display, is it just text for the?
Could you come up to the podium, please?
Thank you.
And state your name and address as well.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Romeo Sadeh. I'm the owner of the BP station. I've been there since 1999. Currently, the sign, it's a sign of the past where we have to either use a ladder or one of those sticky suction cup to replace the panels whenever we want to change the sign. And those, they don't even exist anymore. All what I'm trying to do is to make a digital sign, just like any gas station you pass by around the city. So basically, not the whole sign going to be lit, only the number itself will be green lights instead of that insert that we're currently using.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And did you want to stay up there because we might have additional questions about it? I actually have a question. Is it physically just replacing that one segment of the sign, or is the entire sign coming down and a new sign is coming up in the same place?
Just the numbers, just
Okay.
about 10%, like
Okay.
you said, the area of the face of the sign.
Okay, but it's the same structure that was there, it's just
Yeah,
being
the same
changed.
thing.
Okay, any other questions for the applicant or staff? Okay, then we can open the public hearing. Public hearing is open, would anybody like to speak on this item? Okay, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a
Second.
second? Okay, any discussion? All in favor of closing the public hearing? Opposed? Public hearing is now closed. Does anybody want to make a motion on this item or any general discussion on this item?
I would like to make a motion to approve the variance for the sign code requirements at 6601 Penn Avenue.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion of the item? I'm not super thrilled with intensifying these signs we don't like, but it seems very reasonable when it's just replacing part of it. And I will say the one sign versus two sign thing, in a way, this way the signs are placed is almost better for the corner than having a single sign right on the corner that dominates it. So I'm supportive of this. Anything else? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, liaison reports. Community Services Commission? City Council? HRA?
No report.
School Board?
No report.
Transportation Commission, my only thing is Wednesday evening, the 65th Street open house from Nicollet to just west of the railroad tracks. So that'll be at 4 p.m. And I think it's at City Hall, but I'm not sure. Okay, City Planners Report.
Just a couple items. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m., we have an update on the 494 reconstruction project and local impacts. And then our next meeting, it's looking likely that we will not be having a January Planning Commission meeting. That if we do, it'll be January 28th, 2019. Otherwise, our next, if that meeting is canceled, our next regular meeting will be February 25th. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Can we say you're the second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, we are adjourned.
Could I have voted again?